Hi everyone, Tom Vogel, Wrestling's Finest. It's been quite a while since I did recorded any videos for Wrestling's Finest, so I thought I would do a series of them. This first one hopefully will be short, and it involves gathering of pictures. This may interest some of you, and for others it may not, so you can just skip this and go on to something else. But if you're interested in knowing, and I believe, an easy way to download pictures, stick with me here for a few minutes. Pictures, I do not provide pictures for all kinds of reasons, mainly because it takes too long, and I don't really want to dig pictures out, knowing that everybody has their own preferences for what pictures they have of certain wrestlers. A gentleman by the name of Glenn about 4 or 5 years ago did a remarkable job, and he gathered probably about 96.7% of every wrestler, tag team manager. He was able to get pictures for him. Since then, of course, many wrestlers, tag teams have been added, so there are missing pictures, and sometimes due to the way I rename a wrestler, whether I put a nickname or I put a year after his name the way I'm doing it now, it will make the pictures invalid that are in the game. But what I'm going to show you right now is how to go about gathering pictures. So first thing I want to do is, let's say we're going to start a new match. I just want to show you something here, and forget about it being cut off here. I just want to show you here. If you go down, I was looking for guys, go to Ron Fuller. He has 2 ratings. We have Ron Fuller there, the heel, and Ron Fuller, the face. And as you'll note, both pictures are the same. The reason that is, Gary put a cool feature in that if there's a picture for a wrestler and then that wrestler is rated again, as a face or an early style, whatever it may be, if there's not a picture that corresponds exactly to the name, then the existing picture in the game will be used. So what we're going to do today is we are going to try to find another picture for Ron Fuller. I'm going to go with this one as his face picture, so the one we're going to work on is a heel picture. So we're going to cancel out of this for now, and then what we're going to do is we are going to go over here, and I know it's cut off a little bit, but I don't want to mess with all my screens here. But if you see kind of where my arrow is, what I did was I went into Google and I typed Pro Wrestler Ron Fuller images. And this gives you all kinds of pictures, and this is where you can go in and make your preference to which picture you would like. I'm going to go with this picture here with his on his hips and hand on hips, because he kind of looks like a bad guy. So I'm going to right click it, and then I'm going to click Save Image As. I don't know how fast this will do it, but I already have it loaded up here in the game, the picture. And what I'm going to go down to here, we're going to try to find Ron real quick. There's good old Roman. So you'll see here we have 2 Ron Fuller pictures. Okay, now what's going to happen here is when I save him, I'm going to save it under, I'm going to put like Ron Fuller -1 for now, just so it doesn't wipe out the other one. So it's pretty easy. You go here where you save as, I'm going to go Ron, and then you're going to the underscore line, Fuller, and then for now I'm just going to put a 1. And then I'm going to hit save, and what should happen is Ron Fuller's picture will get saved into this the images file. That's, by the way, where it's being saved to. It's the image folder, and I'll show that to you right before we get done, in the wrestling game. All the pictures are contained in the image folder, and that's why there's so many in here. And that's part of the reason it's impossible for me to send these out, because the file is just way too big. So here, let's go back up here. We'll find Ron Fuller, and there he is here. So we're going to go Ron Fuller 1. We're going to save it in Wrestling's Finest Images. So I'm going to hit save. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Images, and again, don't worry, I'll move this over here a little bit. So let's try to scroll down here and find the Ron Fuller, and here's what we're going to do. This is probably one of the most complicated ones, and you're going to find out here, I believe, that it's not that really hard to do. And what it does is it allows you to find pictures of maybe your favorite wrestlers that you would like to have instead of, you know, the ones that are included in the game. Like, say, here are my Roddy Pipers. I picked a real early, or a mid-Atlantic for his 80 years and after 80 for his heel, but then for his early one for LA, you'll see a real young Roddy Piper here. So just wanted to point that out. But those, again, just my personal preferences. So you'll see now there's a Ron Fuller 1 and a Ron Fuller. We want this to be the Ron Fuller face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go rename. I'm going to slide over here and I'm going to put in face. And then for this Ron Fuller, I'm going to rename it, but I'm just going to knock the 1 off, because this is the Ron Fuller heel card. So let's hope this worked, otherwise this video has to be started over. So let's go back to Wrestling's Finest, and you should see everything in here now. We're going to start new single match, and again, I'm not going to slide everything over, but let's see if this worked. So we got the Ron Fuller face. There he is, the original one we had. And now the Ron Fuller I just added. So remember the hand on hips. So now if you choose the Ron Fuller face card or face rating, this will be his picture. And when you choose the heel, this will be the Ron Fuller there. Now, anytime, we're going to go back into images real quick. So if you look at how, like if you have a manager, you have to put an M if it's a manager in parentheses, or a V for Victor for a valet. But let's say in the game you have Roddy Piper here as a face, or this is the picture I have. If I don't like that picture, what I can do is go in, find a new picture for Hot Rod. I save it, and I'll save it exactly as it is. Roddy _ Piper, the F in parentheses, and I'll hit save, and what it will do, it will ask me if I want to replace the existing picture, which would be this one, with the picture I found. That way, if you want to change pictures, you can. You know, sometimes if you have a face and a heel that are the same picture, you know, and he's a heel, he's kind of smiling at the camera, it's not real, not what you really want. Some of them, it's hard to find a picture that is both, you know, heel or face. Now, here you'll see we got Stan Hansen. We got Stan Hansen here when he's AWA champion. Looks a little bit meaner. Same one we're using for Japan. Probably could go find a better one of those, which I might. And then here, I just recently, within the last couple weeks, I rated a face Stan Hansen. I want him to come into Georgia, you know, with the big, and, you know, be able to battle some guys, and if I want to switch him heel, I can. But anyway, I tried to pick one where he wasn't such a mean-looking guy for the face picture. So I know some people are really into these. Some could care less. Some don't use them. Again, it's your call what you want to do. Some of the pictures actually, the black and white ones were actually the better pictures than the color ones. But again, you know, go in, find the ones you want. And when you go into the images, you'll see again the format that they're in. So what I want to show you here is I'm going to backspace here. This is the Wrestling's Finest game directory. And you'll see here, you should have a folder that's images. That's where we just were at. So when you click images, you'll see every image in the game. And I think if you look here, there's 1,989 that I have. I know I'm missing some. I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to pictures. I like having them, but I don't get obsessed with it. Sometimes if I have a wrestler and all of a sudden this picture doesn't come up, depends what kind of mood I'm in, I might go search for it, or I might just say I'll do it later, don't really care. So one other thing off topic here, I just saw this here, I wanted to show you. Text phrases. I want to click that real quick. Kind of proud of this. Everything in here, you'll see 292 text files. Some of these you do not have because they're not programmed yet into the version that everybody has. Hopefully, when we can get an update done, these will all be added into the everybody's game, you know, the text files. It's there's some pretty cool ones in here, but what I want to show you here, as long as I got everybody on here and I'm only at 10 minutes, You'll see defend the title. These are where all our text files come from. And in here, like I said, we've added some new ones, and I'll go back up here to see if I can find them real quick. I want to try to keep this under 15, this video. You'll see cuts. This is something new that nobody has yet. I think John and I are the only one who has this version. You click cuts. Here is, let me try to bring this into focus here somewhat. Here is the, if you have a 30-point cut. So any one of these texts will be called up if a wrestler gets cut and it says it's going to be a 30-point cut. So you can see we have quite a variety. Some you can kind of cheat on. Loser incurs a deep cut in the corner of his left eye and the blood is starting to flow out at an alarming pace or alarming rate. Same thing here, but now it's the right eye. So, you know, it was a lot of fun coming up with these. So what I wanted to point out here is I'm going to exit out of this. Again, if you look, I think it was down in the corner, it told us how many cut files or text files there are. I believe, kind of here, let me slide this up. We have a lot of files now for the text files. There's probably, you know, 290 some, I think, in here. And each text file has about 10, anywhere between 5 and 20 different text results. So you're going to see a ton of text files. Now here, bounty 30 off bounty match. This is when they brawl. Here, the hatred the wrestlers have for each other shows as they rip into each other with a great fury, and both wrestlers are bleeding. And let's see if I can get more in here. I don't think I can, but what will happen then is that when you have a cut off any of these, it will then go to the cut chart itself. And that's what I was explaining earlier about how, depending on the cut itself, different text files will be drawn. So that's something to look forward to down the line. But again, for purposes of this video, it was more about pictures or images. Again, to sum it up, if there's a wrestler you want, go to Google, type in Pro Wrestler Roddy Piper images, find the image you want, and then what you do at that point, I think I still have it here, you can go up and you can right click and you save. What I do is save image as, and then if it, mine automatically went to it, but all you have to do is go local disk C, and then my game is in program files x86. I go down to Wrestling's Finest right here. I go images, and that's where it will be saved. So then again, you would type the name like Roddy _ Piper, and then if you want to do the face, you would put space, parenthesis, F, parenthesis, and then when you hit save, for me, what it will do, it will ask you, do you wish to replace it? So if I was to do something like this, you see how it will come up, Roddy Piper face right here. I just pointed to my computer screen. I'm sure you didn't see it. But anyway, if I was to type that in like this, what will happen is it will go face. And if I hit save, it's going to say already exists. Do you wish to do you want to replace it? In this case, no, because I was horsing around. But if it was a Piper picture I liked and I wanted to replace the face picture already in the game, I would click yes, and then I'd be done with it. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you today. Next thing we're going to do is I am going to walk. We've had a lot of discussion at the forum on 2 out of 3 fall matches, and I'm actually going to walk. I got to see if I've recorded a 2 out of 3 fall match before. If I haven't, I'm going to go ahead and record one of those. And then I had a great suggestion from my good friend Ed to maybe do a video on how to set up a wrestling territory, which will be quite the challenge, but I'd like to try to tackle it. So that's what will be upcoming. Again, appreciate you jumping in or joining me here and jumping back into all the videos. I think we're going to make the 15. I look forward to seeing everybody at the forum. And then if you are watching this and you haven't been to our forum, it's Delphi Forums, and just type Delphi Forums at Google and then Wrestling's Finest.